Good evening and welcome to the show. Well, if Russian President Vladimir Putin goes full sociopath and decides to widen his war in Ukraine to other parts of Europe, which, by the way, the Western military-industrial complex seems to want him to do, Europe could well be screwed. A story from the front page of the Telegraph of London this week reveals that Europe's leadership is so blinded by its own ideology that it has forgotten what is important not only to its own people but to their nemesis, Putin, as well. The Telegraph reported that Britain has partnered up with the European Union to protect what they think is their key infrastructure in a potential war with Russia. What would that be? Their Houses of Parliament? Airports? Banks? Ports? No, it's their windmills. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said, "We need to effectively protect our offshore industry. The EU and NATO play an important role." Meanwhile, British Energy Security Secretary, and yes, there is someone in the British government with that title, a bloke by the name of Grant Shapps, told The Telegraph that, quote, "We are increasing international cooperation. We are reviewing measures, including drones." Well, apparently Putin would want to attack these things as retaliation for the sabotaging of Russia's Nord Stream pipeline in the Baltic Sea in November, for which nobody has, voluntarily or otherwise, been identified as the culprit. The fact that the windmills are spread out over hundreds of square kilometres of ocean, so are not exactly low-hanging fruit to a military strategist, hasn't occurred to them. But what also hasn't occurred to them is that taking out the windmills would be doing Britain and Europe a favour. These things are expensive and unreliable, forcing ordinary Brits to pay more for heating their homes than if their government had built gas, coal or nuclear-powered generators instead, which is what the British government would be quickly forced to do in the event that Russia destroyed the windmills. So no, Putin has easier, more effective targets than a bunch of stupid windmills if he wants to hurt Britain and Western Europe.